Alright, so we're back with another week of trying to be profitable and earn a payout from Top Step. I was aiming to be a bit more conservative with my setups this week and just overall wanting to take better quality setups to get me over the last little bit of my account. I've been slowly growing my account over the past few weeks, but I did decide that I wanted to size up a bit more since I would be doing that for future accounts too. And I am confident that I'll stick to the plan, so I'm low-key out with a higher risk. Not gonna lie, I did allow myself to risk higher, but I kind of just always defaulted to 300 bucks, so I'm just aiming to have higher confidence and risk higher leverage on those setups that are backed up by my model. But yeah, pretty slowly regardless, so let's just get straight into it. Alright, so to start off this week, we seem to be moving pretty bearish as we did have this big move down and we're currently respecting this 1 hour order block. We also had some imbalances on the low term, so perhaps we could use these as a form of confirmation, but I'll see how things look further on. I was likely leaning more towards the shorts though, and I do want to see price hold the trend. I did enter in after seeing price break this 1 minute imbalance here, which I liked a lot as the break and the other imbalances gave me a lot of confidence with the setup. I wanted to see price hold the trend and continue lower, though one thing I wasn't too sure about was where I could break even, as there wasn't that many great draws on liquidity, and since I knew market open could just run through my stop loss from the volatility alone, I decided to move to break even at the most recent draw on liquidity. Maybe this was also a bit of fear because I didn't really want to lose, but in the moment I was thinking more about making it a risk-free trade. We were getting a nice drop lower though, and we hit my break-even point where I thought price would run nicely, but we ended up getting a wick higher, which had me out of this trade. And honestly, for today's setup, I was pretty happy with it. There are some good factors which made me take the setup, and it did run really well. The only thing I would say I could have done better was not moving to break even as quickly, as the setup was pretty strong but needed time to play out. I think maybe my emotions during this trade wasn't the best, as I didn't manage my time as well today, which led to me not having as much confidence in my analysis and moving to break even much earlier. Had I waited and kept my trade in, the setup would have ran really well, so perhaps in the future I can stay in these trades for longer, especially if it's a good setup. But for today, I'm stuck with a small profit of $8. Alright, so going into today, I did peep that price had some bullish imbalances we were respecting and continuing to push up off of. And the Littleroot also backed up this move as we were getting some retests into the imbalances, which would give this setup some good structure. I do want to wait a bit though, as low-key there is a bearish SMT present, and I also noted the lower power that we are currently experiencing. I am pretty confident in the longs though, so I'll wait to see if we do form some nice structure. And we were getting that structure as we did get a retest into the key levels that I had marked out earlier. We did form quite bearish, which I didn't really like and did pull me off of the setup quite a bit, though I was still waiting to see if the setup would follow through. We didn't though, and price continued to drop lower and ended up inversing the low time imbalances. Lucky I did not like how the price looked, but we still on for today, so I was waiting to see if we could continue to get a follow through. Though we just kept on chopping, and since it was getting later, I thought that we would get much volume, and because of that, I sulked away back to my bed and goon for the next 10 hours. And we thought I could have done better. There was this potential setup I could have taken where price did form a new 5-minute imbalance and respected it to move lower. I did notice it in the moment, but I didn't take it since we had stronger bullish confidences, but that may also have been where I was too locked into my bias. I wasn't that confident in the read, to be honest, as it was more on the fly, but maybe in the future I can trust my analysis a bit more. The 1 hour order block below was untapped, and that tap would also overlap with the 5-minute high low golden zone, which I would expect to be hit before getting a push higher, so realistically I could have taken this. All good though, we'll come back better and we'll take those ups that we can recognize. Alright guys, so for today I was actually asleep as I thought, you know, a little nap before trading wouldn't hurt, right? So I ended up waking up around 1:40 AM, which was an hour after market open, and I decided to do my analysis since, you know, I gotta make the most of what I can do now. And we had this 15 plus 5-minute order block which price retested, and this was overlapped with an overall 1 hour order block, and these were some strong key levels today, and we even retested into the 5-minute high low golden zone range, which would have most likely given me some crazy confidence in the longs, but the aftermath of today was not, you know, let's say the cleanest. I would say I might have gotten faked out here where price wicked and respected a 1-minute fair value gap within the 5-minute high low golden zone. The respect and the retests into the imbalances might have made me think we could enter in, which wasn't the case. I would like to imagine I would have waited for some more confirmation, but honestly, the state I was in before that led me to take a nap was not that promising. So yeah, I definitely could have been faked out by this move. I would say that if I didn't get called by this move, there wouldn't have been another setup today. We retested lower and ended up pushing higher after that, but there wasn't any indication for me to get in, which would have meant that I wouldn't trade regardless. And I am grateful that realistically that I wouldn't have hit a setup today, but I know that it easily could have been a banger setup, which is why I kind of allowed myself to fall into the same mistake again, and I'll make sure of it moving forward. Alrighty, so today seems to be quite bearish in the moment as we do have this 1 hour order block here that we're currently retesting into. We do however have this 4 hour imbalance up here which we could hit as well, so I mainly wanted to wait and see. Looking at the low time, we didn't seem too bad as we did sweep out the draw on liquidity and had plenty of wicks to signal a down move. We do have this untapped 15-minute order block here, so maybe we could use this as a target if we haven't hit it yet. I don't know though, it could be more of a in the moment play for me to take, but if we do hit it then I want to see the reaction from that imbalance. And I had to wait quite a bit for the setup. We ended up getting a fresh 5-minute order block and respected the prior 15-minute balance as we talked about earlier. We also tapped the 1-minute fair value gap and the 1-minute high low discount zone, so honestly I was pretty confident in this setup. I was intending to go in with the minis today, but I think they raised up the pip sizing again, so I was stuck on micros again because the stop loss was like 65 pips. But yeah, since we got a shift from the retest, I entered and immediately got stopped out. And honestly, it's an alright setup today, just quite unfortunately didn't play out. My model isn't 100%, so I do expect these losses to come in, but damn, price really just reversed on me just to rally later. And from this, I can tell I most likely need to get my timing down better, so yeah, I'll be working on that. Alright, so that about does it for this week. Like I mentioned at the start, it was pretty slow, which I am alright with. I am being more picky with this setup, so it is to be expected, but yeah. Like, you're just gonna sit on my hands for a while waiting for these setups to come. And I was pretty bummed about Tuesday's trade though, as that trade was honestly A+ and did run really well. Had I kept that trade in, I would have been up about 1k, but I can't be too hung up about that. I did get that read right, so all I gotta do is replicate it the next time I see a good setup. Been on a pretty good streak recently, and I'm going to keep grinding to achieve that funded and then of course a payout. And I just gotta keep being patient and push myself until that time comes. And also as a side note, I did just notice that I have been consistently profitable for the past 3 months, which does give me quite a lot of confidence. And I'll most likely be sizing up, so just trading minis moving forward, unless it was like Friday where the pip sizing was completely hard. And if it is, then I'll micro depending on the setup. But I didn't realize that happened, but shit does make me feel pretty proud, but I won't let that shit get to my head. And yeah, otherwise that's about it for this week. So if you guys are interested, check out my friend's Discord. It's just a chill place for everybody to talk and grow as traders, and we're all on the same path to become the traders that we want to become, so join up if you guys are keen. But yeah, that's about it for this one, so I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.